We've been here for 3 years. We have shot over 12 million views in this building, $4 million worth of cars. Hundreds of fans have came by. Basically, at the end of the day, they don't want another used car dealer in downtown Greenville. They've made that point extremely clear to me.
That's how we do it in the South.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. I get a bit nostalgic. And it blows my mind sometimes how much has been accomplished in such a short amount of time. And it's just humbling. From way back. It blows my mind still that people watch this stuff. So that leads us into our story. And me being nostalgic, I get to share some fun things with you. So when I came back from Texas, I had a couple big problems on my plate right off. Well, actually, I had about three really big problems that were just fell right on my plate as soon as I got back. The very first thing is Matt was moving on to go work for some other projects, which is fine. I've never fault anyone for bettering themselves. Matt's a great guy. Me and Matt are still good friends. No, nothing's wrong there. And I needed to take a break. You got to think about it. I came back from Texas filming for 4.5 months, 6-7 days a week. It was nice to, just settle and just kind of get back into the groove. You got to think about it. We hadn't sold a car in over 4 months. Get some inventory in here, get a few things sold, get some cars moved around, got a lot of dead batteries, stuff like that, get cars cleaned up, yada, yada. Was one problem. Another problem is my mother was having some health issues, and I kind of wanted to help focus on her a little bit and make sure she was all right. And then another really big problem, which is probably the biggest of all of them, was this building. Short form of this part of the story would be, we've been here for 3 years. And we've shot over 12 million views in this building. $4 million worth of cars. Hundreds of fans have came by, and I love it. This is the very first RUC. You got to think about it. I've been selling cars for a long time, but Rabbit's Used Cars in general is a very young company. And I'm proud of it. This is location number one. This was, where it all started. And I'm a bit sad about this, or was really sad about it, because, basically we got annexed into the city of Greenville, and Greenville is an up and growing town. Keep in mind, I've been here my entire life, born and raised. I have watched Greenville go from a bump in the road between Atlanta and Charlotte to now it's its own thing. It is grown, but with any city that grows, you have growing pains. And unfortunately, our mayor's idea of the perfect downtown Greenville and my idea of the perfect downtown Greenville are two totally different things. We've talked about this in the past. Greenville, I can give you so many examples of, you don't get in the way of progress when it comes to things like this. And basically, at the end of the day, they don't want another used car dealer in downtown Greenville. They don't want no used car dealers in downtown Greenville, and they've made that point extremely clear to me. So that puts me having to find a new place to do my thing. And keep in mind, I live on Lake Kiwi, which is an hour from here. So I drive an hour every day. You got to think about it. My Cadillac I bought in February is sat for 5 months. And so I've only technically drove it for less than 6, well, about 5 months really. And it's got 17,000 miles on it already, driving it back and forth. And, so I drive a lot. I drive a lot, looking at cars or going to events or whatever. But then I also drive an hour to and fro, back and forth. It's actually 68 miles from my driveway to here, one way. But no big deal. I've done it for a long time. I love it. I love where I live. It's beautiful out there. Probably one of the most relaxing places I've ever lived in my life. considering my last house was literally next door to a brothel. It's kind of peaceful, kind of peaceful. Probably one of the prettiest lakes in the state of South Carolina I'm on. And anyway, so we're looking for locations, and property right now is insane. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out, everybody is taking their properties and they're sell. It is definitely a seller's market, especially in the last 6 months. Now, it's starting to cool down just a little bit, but we were looking for a property. I really didn't want to lease another place. I wanted to own a place. And, I thought RUC was to that point, and my accountant told me it was to that point that we need to spend some money. So we're looking for properties, and Greenville, like I said, isn't a good fit for me anymore. So to hear them speak. So I started looking kind of like the outskirts of Greenville County. It was getting further and further out as far as my commute, and I'll be honest with you, location-wise, I didn't like it. I love where we're at right now. We're literally 5 minutes off of Main Street in beautiful downtown Greenville. So I wanted something cool. I wanted a cool spot to be in. But this building, it does work good. This location works good, but it does have its quirks. And if you've been here, you'll know what I'm talking about. We've got very little parking out front. This is basically a lot with all building, and very little parking. Transport is a uber nightmare loading and unloading. We're virtually loading cars in the road. And so that's the Achilles heel with this place. So naturally, I'm looking for somewhere with a big parking lot because we're having more and more people come by. And just for transport reasons, I'm just tired of loading cars in the middle of the damn road. I want something with a nice parking lot. I want something with a little bit of land attached to it. I want a nice building, a nice facility. And you guys watch this being built from the ground up. I mean, you got to think about it. From November 3 years ago when we signed the lease on this place, building the gas station in the background and all that stuff. This place, you've watched it come up to what it is. And, so it was kind of neat, and I'm so nostalgic about it. But I mean, it kind of sucks that we're leaving, but I got to find a place. So as luck with having them playing on the interwebs, and I'm looking everywhere, and I reached out to a really good friend of mine who is a commercial realtor, and he said, man, I know a spot that you're going to love. It's listed, but it's not. The guy runs a business out of it. They actually have church there. And he said, this guy is kind of, subleasing it out because he doesn't use it that much. And he ran a carpet business out of it. And he gave me the address, and literally it's 5 minutes from my driveway, sitting right on the main drag in Seneca, South Carolina. Gorgeous 1 acre parking lot, asphalted, nice building, good size, all the utilities you want, all that stuff. But the thing that's cool is we're right there on the main drag. I mean, I've got a CVS pharmacy dead across the street from me. I mean, I've never had frontage like this before. And, that's a really neat thing. Another thing that was really cool about this new location is I'm literally sitting smack dead in the middle of two of the best lakes in South Carolina. Lake Hartwell on the Georgia side, Kiwi on the South Carolina side. And you got to think when you're in a lake town like that, there's that old lake life atmosphere, and this is just a cool town in general. 15 minutes from, Clemson University, big football team, all that stuff, whatever, all that, big college out there. Well, we met with the guy and looked at the building, and the building's gonna need a lot of renovations. Keep in mind it's got it looks like a church fellowship hall inside this thing. And I know how crazy that sounds, that I want to turn a church into a used car lot. Gotta get an amen. I love it. Preach. But in the same token, I used to take pictures of cars in church parking lots because, one, they were always empty, and two, never hurts to have the Lord's help. So, hey, I ain't saying we're going to turn into a den of sin, but definitely going to be a little different than sitting around the offering plate and preaching, telling you're going to go to hell. So, anyway, we put a deal together and we got it bought. We actually closed on it this past Friday, and renovations have already started on the all-new RUC. Jeff, insert rendering here of what the building's going to look like. And guess what? We're going to do it all over again. You guys are going to get to see this dealership getting built inside out all over again because we'll be filming there soon and new cars coming in, and you'll get to see the Garage Mahal of Seneca being built. This one's going to definitely be my passion project on the inside. So this right here was just rookie baby stuff. Now it's time to show out a little bit and get up there on them big time YouTuber levels or something. Anyway, guys, we'll catch you next time here at the Rabbit's Used Cars.